There were 10 people who lost their lives, the youngest just 22, the eldest 94. Our team has spent the week learning more about those who died and how they lived their lives. Through the pain and the heartache of such sudden loss, we learn the names and the stories of the 10 lives cut short. Anne-Marie D'Amico celebrated her 30th birthday in December, a young woman who embraced every day with passion. She was known for her endless spirit and generosity.
It's all about the smile, it's all about the kindness and the generosity and just her beautiful heart. We want to let the family know that they're in our prayers and that we will never forget her.
45-year-old Eddie Kang was a chef at a downtown steakhouse. His co-workers say his heart was always in the kitchen.
He has passion for food. He has passion for cooking, for prepare everything.
80-year-old Dorothy Sewell is being remembered for her dedication to family.
She was like the best grandma you could ask for.
Family members still chuckle over her passion for sports and for being a good member of the community.
She was, a true Canadian. Always helped everybody, always had a smile, and cheered for any Canadian team there was.
At the age of 94, Betty Forsyth was the eldest, but also one of the fiercest.
And she was like a big sister to me. And I knew her for a lot of good years. I miss her very much.
Jordanian national Munir Najjar was visiting family in Toronto and enjoying the first sunny day of spring. So too was 33-year-old Andrea Braddon. She was just getting coffee with a friend. They were heading back to the office. 22-year-old Soo Hee Chung was a molecular biology student at the University of Toronto. Ji Hun Kim was a 22-year-old South Korean national here as an international student. 83-year-old Geraldine Brady was an Avon salesperson for 45 years, described as resilient in the face of adversity. And prayers were said this week for Renuka Amarasinghe, a 45-year-old school nutrition advisor and a single mother to a 7-year-old boy.
She was a sweet lady, and she always smiles, and I can tell that she was a great mother too.
A crowd-raising campaign in her honor has now raised more than $320,000.
Hi there, Michelle. I'm outside the Baitul Islam Mosque, where more than 1,000 people are expected to gather here today for a vigil for the victims of that young street attack. I'm here with Safwan Choudhry with the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat. And Safwan, your members were there at the vigil at the scene earlier this week. They carried signs that you can see behind us right now: love for all, hatred for none. Just tell us what the importance of that message is.
It's been a very difficult 3 days for all Torontonians, for our community, and we lost 10 members of our Toronto family. The Baitul Islam Mosque, which represents one of the largest places of worship in this city, and it's a mosque that often calls Toronto a one large family. We lost 10 members of that family a few days ago. So today, on the holiest day of the week for Muslims around the world, we are dedicating that day to those we lost. So today the Imam will lead a special prayer for them. We will remember them during our prayers, and all members will gather outside the mosque, which, as you rightfully mentioned, is called Baitul Islam, which means the house of peace. So we can actually both pray, remember, and remind the city that love for all, hatred for none bonds us all together.
And why do you think, we've seen several vigils now, why do you think these vigils are important in helping in the healing process?
Look, somebody violently tried to take away the peace we have in our city. Our city is known around the world, and our country is respected around the world as the peacekeepers. And we all hold that very sacred to our hearts, whether it's the Muslim community or the churches or the various different Korean communities that are getting together, standing shoulder to shoulder with this message. It's to remind the rest of the world that nobody can divide us in Canada. And while we have tragically lost 10 members, and we want to pray for their family members, we want to pray for all those who have been affected by this tragedy, we want to make sure that we, at the end of it all, stand united, and we will be stronger as a city.